Happy September,
You gotta say
everybody.
Saturday.
Oh my
And I was like, Adam, it's not Saturday.
Happy September. It is September 14th, 2022 on the planet Earth.
Not necessary.
And we are here to talk about the first half of Klara and the Sun.
That
by
is up
Kazuo
to.
Ishiguro.
Up
to part
to.
4.
Wait.
Part
Up to
4.
part 4. No spoilers past that point.
Yes. So hello and welcome. I believe Talia has some individual shout outs. Don't forget, Bill's here too.
Thank you for the reminder. Hi, Bill and Giggles, Mariah and Giggles, Mariah and Tammy and Snare. Hi, Stacy and Tim and I clicked the wrong thing. And Carrie, Marianne, Kent and Brandy, Victoria. Hi, Cindy and Henry and Rachel and Jeff, Kelly, Dan, Ed and Julie. Hi, Judy and Brandy and Leanne and Natalie, Kelly, Kent, Martin, Leanne, Mariah and Ashley. Oh my God, it rhymed!
Hey, how about that?
Perfect.
Y'all, it
Did it?
rhymed. That never happened.
Sometimes things just really work out for the best.
Beautiful. Thanks,
so,
Leanne. My hair's dirty.
So here we are, ready to discuss a very different book than what we had last month. But you know what? Variety is the spice of life. Did I make that up? Did I hear that somewhere?
Yep. No,
You did not
made
make that up.
That's a
No.
quote. That's an Adam
that's a thing.
Schwartz quote.
That's a thing.
You're the first person to have ever said that.
I think Frank.
For sure.
I think Frank Herbert actually coined that.
The spice.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. What do we do? How do we do this? You don't have a
recap.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
I don't have one prepared, but we'll wing it.
Wing it.
Klara goes to the barn with Rick's help and has a conversation with the sun and promises in exchange for helping Josie, Klara is going to go and stop and destroy
the machine.
the machine. What's it called? The
I don't want to say the wrong thing.
something machine. The machine.
Collider machine. or
Someone
something.
help us.
The cootie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I don't want to get it wrong.
Cootings.
Cootings.
The
Yeah,
cootings machine. I was like,
I was gonna say something else, but
no. Cootings. The cootings machine.
And now they're all like Josie,
Klara.
Clara.
What is the audio?
The audio
say?
looks Clara.
Audio's Klara.
Oh.
Clara.
My
Just
brain
whatever
is
you want it to
doing
be.
Clara in this.
But now Clara, the mother, Josie, Miss Helen, and Rick are all going to the city so that Josie can get her portrait pictured
Continued.
or something. And I don't know why the other two are going.
You creep.
Oh yeah, and Melania,
Yeah.
housekeeper, warned Clara about the
Portrait man
the
is
portrait dude.
not to be trusted.
yeah.
Mm.
But there has been little to no hanky panky so far in the book.
That we know of.
Probably, maybe.
They definitely had some closed door sessions to Clara. It was like, yeah, no, whatever. Y'all are good. I'm gonna go sit out in the
No
hallway.
hanky panky, right? Yep.
No
good.
hanky panky. So here we go. Clara and the Sun. What do we think of it so far?
Man, this book is weird. It's weird and kind of trippy and like odd and simple and confusing, but I'm enjoying it. I am waiting for something
To happen.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm waiting for answers because like there are some little subtle questions. I don't know, and I'm enjoying it, but this is a weird one.
Yeah, it's different for sure, and I, it's creating a sense within me that like, and I think this is by design. We're getting this very, very subjective look into this planet or this world. It's very subjective, and not as subjective. It's also like not entirely informed. It's and so like this lens that we're viewing this already sort of strange world is even stranger. So it's just a sense of being off kilter for me, which is not a bad thing, but there's mystery here that I think we're slowly unraveling, and I have absolutely no idea what the situation is. Like, just no clue. And like every once in a while, like you're just reading along and you get to a place and it's like, then she saw her eyes through one of the boxes and the mouth is another, and I'm like, what is this? I have no idea what. And I turn to Christy and I'm like, Christy, what is this? And she's like, book.
Book.
And things like that. And like, then they'll just talk about like, when Klara is journeying to the barn and all of a sudden she's like sunken in the ground and Rick is, I'm like, what is happening? I have no idea how to even like picture. Is she underwater? I have no idea. So, and then, but on top of that, there's like this world that isn't quite normal society. Like there's like, obviously there's AIs, but then there's like this weird social structure of being lifted versus not being lifted. And like, there's something I can't wait to hopefully find out some answers, but this book puts me in a weird state.
Go, you finished it before me.
I did. I'm just waiting for anything to happen. It's very slow for me. And I will say, I think it was Ashley said, I am both equal parts frustrated and intrigued. There it is. I am intrigued but I'm frustrated because there seems to be a cool world out there that I don't get to see. And I want to figure it out. And my biggest worry right now is that there's not going to be a payoff. And it's just going to kind of keep just farting around. Well written farting around, but it's just going to kind of like meander and then peter out and nothing too crazy is going to happen. That's my concern right now. It's not, I don't know. I don't care about anyone in the story right now. It's just, Claire's interesting, but it might be.
Lucas AF?
AF boy, Lucas B.
I gotta be honest. Because of the kids in today's lingo.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
It's also like, she's Klara AF.
I was like,
yeah, I am.
She's so Klara.
But yeah, it's not a bad book by any means. It's very well written and there are some nice moments, but it's just, I don't know. It's a little too slow for me right now. And I'm really worried that there's not going to be a payoff, or I'm not going to get exposed to the bigger world to figure out what are these robots, androids. I want to know the bigger picture, and I am frustrated that all I'm seeing is it's through Klara's narrow scope.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. If I like had to read like a small excerpt of, if the way that we picked books is I had to read a small excerpt, just a few pages, I would never pick this book. It is weird. It's a lot of like metaphor and poetry and like suggestive story, like whatever, which is not my thing at all. So no one is more surprised than I am that I am loving this book. I have no clue what's going on. I don't understand a lot of it. It is so different from anything that I ever strive to read. It's, on one hand, you could be like, yeah, nothing's happening. It's so slow. I don't understand it. It's so weird. But for some reason, I'm like really, really enjoying it. And I don't know why. It's so weird. It's so confusing. But I am in it. And y'all know that when we've read like weird stuff in the past, I'm like, pass, don't want it. Like, just zero crabs. But there's something about this that to me, also, by the way, I started reading this the day after I finished the entire Scythe trilogy. So this is a hard switch. There's something so beautiful about it and so sad. I feel very sad reading it for some reason, but like in a beautiful way. I know this book's going to hurt me. It already kind of is a little bit, but I don't know. It's like, you know how when you go, this is me, when you go see an art exhibit and you see something that just speaks to you, it's beautiful. You don't know what it is. You know, it's out of like your realm of like, this is out of my realm of culture and like what I've been exposed to. I'm not smart enough or cultured enough for this piece, maybe, but it still like strikes a chord within you. That's what this book is doing for me right now. Also, pretty sure the what's it called? The Cootings? Is that what I said?
Cootings.
The Cootings machine. I'm fairly certain is a paver because she was describing about like, also if y'all have ever been around one of those, they smell
and they're
awful and they're nasty. They've got like black tar and all this stuff. They really are truly disgusting. But she did mention that afterwards people were walking smoother in the cars. Like, so that's, I do think that's
Didn't
what it
y'all
was.
see Cars?
It probably just says Cootings is like the brand of the. It's like
That's
a
what
Caterpillar or whatever.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because she said it was just, that's what she called it because it was on the side of the thing. But yeah, I have so many questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, like I'm mesmerized by it. I don't get it, but I'm mesmerized by it.
I don't think it necessarily is like super weird. It's just
It's different.
it's different.
It's just off. It's off because of the lens in which we're viewing the world. And again, like it's not too far off from our world. It's just there is this element of being lifted that seems different. And when I don't know if anybody else did this, but like as I'm reading this book, for some reason I picture this world as sort of like a retro future. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Retro
Yeah.
futuristic.
it's like what they thought the future was in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the kind of, I don't know why, but like especially when she was in the store, like I pictured this kind of like
Doll shop
50s
kinda.
futurist like kind of world where it looks like everything's like kind of this like Art Deco-y future and like sleek and silver and like, but the dudes are still walking around with their like hats and suits on and stuff like that.
Well, that's right. But I love the description of like back home, though. It has that more farm. She's talking about like, you know, these paths in the grass and like the loose stones, which I'm assuming is just like a gravel driveway because she's describing like the ruts and stuff that the tires leave.
Yeah, let's just say the loose stones and stuff.
Yeah. So it's like a weird mix for me in my head of super sleek city and untouched country, like, but in this weird future that I don't know anything about.
I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiled coming off of Scythe, where every chapter seemed kind of action packed, and then this one, like each part was like one little thought, and it just stretched that thought out for the entire section.
Well, reading the physical book, like there are no chapters, there are only parts. But reading the physical book, there are like little there are like little spaces where you can like reach stopping points. So I don't know if it's like the same when you're listening to it. If it were just
audiobooks, literally it's like a 2.5 hour part 3, and you're like,
Oh, no,
oh,
it's
God.
So I can understand why that might feel like it drags because I was able to
These
find
little
like
breaks
stopping points along the way.
and like so every like little bit, so you are getting it in bits and pieces.
It just ran, which
and it's like every like few pages.
I will really say, after how many books have I read now, Talia?
30, 40.
Whatever. I've read 30 some books.
However many books.
However many books we've read here is how many books I've read.
Plus Harry Potter.
But I do much better with like the shorter, succinct, like 15, 20-minute chapters. That's the sweet spot for me.
So let's
talk
Kira.
about lifted. We got a couple of different theories, like the one you just had up, where it's
lifted.
Yeah, being lifted isn't much different than rich people today getting tutors and SAT prep classes.
It's just such a defined word.
But they're also
It's like gifted.
A lot of people are talking about it being more of a genetic alteration. Yeah. And and then a lot of people yeah.
That's been since the 90s.
Doesn't matter, it's still a spoiler. But and then also a lot of connections between being lifted and Sal dying and Josie's sickness,
Yes.
which I feel like they implied that at one point in the book. Like I feel like someone was talking to Chrissy, and like I feel like they said something about it.
Yeah. They're little, I think that's like a good segue into sort of like what are the little nuggets of mystery that we have here in this book. It's like we love to make like a running list of what these sort of mysterious elements are. There's what basically like being lifted. There's
Which I have a big one pertaining to that. I found it in the book.
what happened to Sal. What's your thing?
Well, that's what. So remember when all the people came over to their house and that
weird interaction part.
That's what. So and the lady said about Rick. She said, "Did his folks talking about Rick? Did his folks just decide not to go ahead, lose their nerve? Like I'm assuming, like maybe asking he wasn't lifted or whatever." And then the mother stopped smiling, and they had that whole conversation. And then at the end, she said, "Do you suppose Sal would want to thank me?" And then the other woman started crying and was like, I'm sorry. So that does kind of seem like,
weird moment.
Right? Like, so that does kind of like imply like, in order to be like, is there something physical or like medically altered that like just didn't go right for Sal and Josie?
And also we have that moment of like what Miss Helen was saying about like, or whoever it was about like looking out the window and seeing Chrissy talking to some person
that looked a lot like
Sal. Like
Chrissy, wake up.
But Sal was already dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had been dead for years.
Yeah.
So like that, there's just a whole mystery around that. There's a mystery around what Josie's illness is, which is probably connected. There's a mystery around like who this portrait person is. And like why she's got to go get her portrait.
Yeah, creepy.
Which we're going to meet him real soon.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you already mentioned this, but Chrissy's relationship with Klara struck me as really weird, especially the whole waterfall incident.
That was messed up.
It was so weird. And someone posted earlier, they were thinking that maybe Klara was going to replace her.
That's what I was...
I had the same worry, especially because of that scene. Yeah. I don't know. Things were just not exactly right.
Yeah. And even Helen saying, or somebody said something about like mom just didn't recover from Sal's death or something like that. Like there was some sort of trauma going on there or some sort of like thing.
Which makes sense. Like, honestly, like I can't imagine like one, just losing your child breaks you. But and to live in a world with this type of artificial intelligence, like all the different weird ways that can manifest when people are,
oh my God,
like
Chrissy making Klara imitate Josie.
Yeah, no, that's what we're talking about.
I know, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Like walk like her.
Oh, and have a whole conversation. Ask her.
Tell me you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
She's like, but I can't even laugh about it. I feel like she's so broken. Like, also, I know a lot of people are talking about the pacing. I am not denying that this book is slow. I think for some reason, I think the reason it's not bugging me right now is one, I just like blew through 3 Scythe books, so still recovering. But the pacing is so slow, but it seems very intentional to me. Like it's very, very intentionally slow. I feel like we've read a lot of books where it's like action and then boring and then action and then boring. This is consistent.
Boring.
No, don't be rude. This is consistent and it feels like that pacing is very intentional. So to me, it doesn't imply that it's like a lack of action within the story. It's just different.
Well, also like this was written in Japanese, right? And then translated?
I would buy that.
He's British, so I don't know.
Oh, maybe not then. I just assumed.
The author's British?
I think he was born in Japan and raised in...
Well, yeah.
Well, never mind. I was wondering, like, I do love
that. I read that.
I do love that we're getting Klara's perspective because it is so forward.
Britain. So
yeah, he's
Where's
moved
Philip?
to
Tell
Britain.
Philip to go find him.
It says right here, he moved to Britain when he was 5 years old. So
Okay, definitely, probably just written in English. Then that's fascinating to me. I really like that, and it's written so simply, and I think it's because Klara is so simple, especially like her communication style, and like that we're definitely getting that, and I really appreciate that.
She kind of has this energy of some like a kid who's been told that they've been like great, and then enter the real world and they're not actually great. You know, like the way she's sort of built up around the other AFs is like she kind of had a bit of a superiority thing, especially with Rosa, where she was like, Rosa is annoying to me because she cannot comprehend what I can comprehend, like that kind of stuff. She was like, she didn't have patience with Rosa. Now she's out in the real world and she's like, she doesn't know that she doesn't know.
Yeah, lack of self-awareness.
And that's going to catch up with her. Like the whole time she's like, I'll make a deal with the sun that I'm going to go destroy this machine and that'll fix Josie. I'm like, oh my God, this book would just be finished if she would just tell somebody.
But to me, she's a child, so it's like it's very innocent. Like
it is, but all she has to do is tell somebody their plan. They'll be like, Klara, that's not a thing. And then
Well, and it is really interesting the way she thinks the sun works and the way she feels about the sun, because people were commenting earlier about how the sun brought the man and the dog back to life after a day of them just being dead. And
yeah,
which I do want to know what the deal with that was. Were they just like sleeping?
That was my guess.
like, I don't know. They were sleeping like all day.
her perception is a little warped sometimes, especially with her
True.
vision. So
They were across the street too, right?
Yeah, I wonder if maybe her perception of time might be a little bit off too sometimes.
I do feel like that's as simple as, I mean, she's solar powered. Like these AFs are run on solar energy. So I think it's just as simple as her assumption if she's like, the sun is what takes care of me and gives me energy. Why is it not that for everyone? So like, I mean, that's just kind of what I assumed.
I mean, yeah, if the sun
Making
gave
a
me
lot of
life-
assumptions with this book since I don't have clear answers. I don't know things.
But yeah, I think that the way that this book,
Yeah,
I
if we were
love,
solar powered, then man, summers would be hard.
like I do got to give the author a lot of credit for just like expertly peeling away the onion layers. It's just like,
Speaking of AFs, y'all are frozen
Y'all are
robots
frozen,
right now.
or we're frozen.
can you
We
hear
can
us
hear
though?
you.
Y'all chime in the comments. Who's frozen?
Can we hear?
Adam and
And
Christy?
can you hear both?
Can we
of
hear
us
be
or-
heard?
Now I
we
can hear you,
but
you're
your picture's frozen.
Oh, I'm moving around. I'm moving around now.
Oh,
Oh,
there you are.
okay. that was a fun thing to switch to.
That was
Oh, they can
Adam
sing
AF.
Yeah.
Not frozen. Yeah, I was never frozen.
Oh, you froze again.
No one's ever
Are we
frozen.
hardwired?
Maybe we're frozen. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's
hardwired.
you.
I don't
But we
think
can
they
still
can
hear
hear
you.
us.
Anyway, see, I'll put it on the screen. No one is frozen.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Can y'all hear us when you think we're
That's
frozen?
weird.
We can hear you, but you're like going in and out, and you're like a little transformer-y.
Interesting. Okay.
That's the sound of transform,
Okay.
right?
So-
When they transform.
Adam had a really interesting question
Me?
earlier today.
I did.
Yes.
Hey,
Is Melania housekeeper human?
there's probably a short answer to that. Yes.
Probably.
I assumed she was.
But it never even occurred to me that she might not be until he said it. And I was like, she could be, or she might not be.
She's housekeeper AF.
I don't feel like she's non-human.
Yeah.
Because her quick threat immediately was like, if you don't take care of Josie, I'm going to take you apart and put you in the trash can. Like,
Yeah.
She said that multiple times, right?
She's
Yeah.
a character that doesn't feel like they belong in this world for some reason.
Cindy says she has too much attitude, so she's definitely
Mhm.
human.
Like every time Melania housekeeper talks, it's grounding in a way because I'm like, oh, an actual human.
Yeah.
That like cuts straight to the point and like tells it like she's like the only person in this story that tells it straight up. No hanky panky. with her like broken English.
I did. I really loved all of the talk about hanky panky. I thought that was really funny.
But I do love, I mean, you can tell though that she like really loves Josie so much. I mean, the fact that she's like standing up, that she fights with the mom about allowing Josie to have these experiences or trying to protect her and everything. So, I mean,
Marianne,
Rosie.
Rosie, yeah.
Yeah.
I just kept picturing Melania Trump in like a little housekeeper thing, because in the audiobook she's got that like Slavic accent too.
Oh, really? I was wondering.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering what her accent was.
No, it's like full out like East Bloc Slavic. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, we need to talk about the boxes.
What about them?
So
What are they?
I think everyone agrees, but Brandy said, I'm having trouble visualizing what is meant when Klara sees things in boxes. Is it like her vision is zooming in on certain things?
Yeah, so somebody else mentioned that it was like
Julie,
sensory overload.
Yeah, Julie had a great response in the discussion topics post. She said, I interpreted this as the way she processes visual input. Like her visual field is broken up into a grid, probably to help with data identification and sorting. And when the sensory input is too large or too fast or too new, her processor is trying to keep up, so it takes a second to parse the data and normalize her visual field. Like when she's in the car watching all the scenery pass by, too quick for her to process. So the boxes change quickly instead of coalescing into one visual field. And perhaps other sensory input or social cues can influence her visual field, like when Klara is at the waterfall and Chrissy's face and eyes take up a large portion of her visual boxes because of the importance of that interaction. Seems like moments of potential stress or sensory overload for Klara are the ones that trigger the box vision the most.
Yeah, I think that's
like
that's probably pretty accurate. Although Dan thinks that Klara is just a CAPTCHA. It's like pick all the boxes that have a subway in them.
I just tried to think of it as like, so our eyes, the way that eyes work versus the way a camera lens works, which is basically what she has to have in there because she's AF, is, so I assumed it's these very, very advanced like combination of lenses within her eyes. And so, you know, just like when we hyperfocus on something, everything else is in our periphery. Everything is just a mosaic almost of her input. So wherever she's putting her focus it's just coming in from multiple lenses.
Sorry.
And so I almost
This is him begging to be put under the covers.
He's just he's got his face in the pillows.
He wants us to go over there and put the blanket on top of him.
What an idiot.
No, he's the sweetest.
Anyway.
And he's just gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I just kind of pictured it like it's almost like it's like it's just like a data room full of screens. Like her brain is just, and so, you know, it's computer functioning multiple things at a time, and that's kind of how I broke it up.
Ashley said, I'm actually confused by a 14-year-old wanting an AF. It actually feels more 8 to 12-year-old appropriate to me. And you're definitely right here, but in this world, I get the impression that the 14-year-olds are generally just really lonely. Like I feel like all kids
especially
are
if they
really
had to have
lonely.
interaction parties.
Yeah, like
yeah,
I feel
that was weird.
Yeah, I feel like they don't have friends, like not in real life. So, and Josie, you know, she has the health problems too. It kind of makes sense just because of that.
Your dog sounded like it just started up.
Yeah, no, is that like sounded like you teleported?
He's very upset that we haven't put him up underneath the blankets.
But I think it's not even just about friendship. Like, remember the moms, a different parent in the store was asking about, you know, different things like would they help with tutoring or, you know, getting them to be more responsible. Like these, it's almost like these artificial friends are tutors on social skills. And so it's not just about being a friend. They're helping them grow and learn. Just imagine if everyone, and y'all, this is really what it is. Imagine if everyone in the world was homeschooled. You know, we all have those friends that were homeschooled. I know some of y'all were homeschooled, but it's true. I've talked to them about it. I'm not being ugly, but you know what it is. Sometimes you just need a little bit more help with social interactions when you were homeschooled. And this is it. This is AFs are their friend tutors, like teaching them how to go out in the real world and interact with other people, because everyone is super smartly homeschooled.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about this interaction party?
Ugh,
That was such a weird, awkward. Everything about that was unnatural, and
I
I
hated
did
it.
not. I also hated it. It like evoked a visceral reaction from me.
It made me want to slap some kids.
Yes, those kids were terrible. The whole setup was terrible. The whole like adults can't interfere was terrible.
Cindy, I promise it was not a dig. I have friends that I love. Literally, one of our most social butterfly friends was homeschooled, but she talks about it all the time.
But
Thank
yeah,
you for doing a good job.
the fact that they had to have interaction parties, and these were interaction parties only for lifted kids, right? These are like only lifted kids can come to the interaction parties, and then that's why Rick being there was like, everyone's like, what are you doing here, unlifted boy? And they like sort of teased him, and then and Klara or Josie trying to impress her friends and like insulting Klara, and Klara being weird too about like, well, Josie didn't say for me to do so. I'm not going to answer this kid.
I think she has very clear instructions that like she only answers to Josie and the mother.
So it was just a very awkward. Like it made me sideways. I was sideways a little bit during that. There's a dog update. He's
still there.
That's so funny.
He'll be there for a while. Poor thing.
But he can like jump up on his own, right? But
He has a bed he can burrow in over here, so don't feel sad for him.
You have a bed.
It's better.
You have a bed. But yeah, Brandy is going full on like all the people in this book are terrible. What is wrong with everybody? This is like an unsocialized society.
Dan, I agree. I did not like Rick's voice in the audiobook. It's like a British accent, but it was really off for some reason.
So okay, everybody wants
the
us
doggy,
to help.
Adam.
Okay, all right. Bailey, you ready? Okay.
And he'll stay under there until we go to bed.
Do you want the comforter? Where's the blanket?
The blanket's over there with Buddy.
We're
Moving, so our house is chaos right now.
I'll just put you under this then.
Yeah, just put him under the comforter.
Come here. Oh, no, now you're on top of it. What is wrong with you?
It's fine. Just drape it over him.
He doesn't understand you. He's a
get on it, man.
dog. He probably
Lick your
only gets
butthole.
every third word.
Oh my gosh, you could not leave him there. Put that blanket on him.
He's on top of it. God.
What if y'all just did this, but you didn't have a dog?
Then we'd have AFs. Anyway.
Someone asked if the old man and if the homeless man and the
There's
dog.
no dog. See?
Oh, I know.
there.
If they were AFs.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh, you didn't do it good enough.
He's sitting on top
He's
of it.
still pouting.
Okay, well, while Adam's busy, I have a question. What do y'all think the deal is with Rick's mom?
Oh, Julie just asked that question.
Okay.
I kind of got the impression that she's an alcoholic.
There has to be more than that. What's with the shoes? Or the
She's
shoe?
also a hoarder.
There's a shoe. There's a bag.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what I think is wrong with her? Nothing. I think that there's nothing wrong with her, and that there's like this society has evolved to a point where like it's created sort of things off with most people, but like this is a person who kind of progressed without any sort of liftedness, without any sort of like manipulation or whatever. Like this is, I feel like Rick's mom is just a regular person.
I will say the way she converses seems normal to me, but the thing about the shoe does seem a little off. And Rick did say, remember how he cleaned the hallway multiple times because there was a smell. So we don't know if maybe she got sick in the hallway or... So, I mean, there's something going on. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get more answers. But so far, I've just kind of been reading it as Because of the way he was acting about it, I kind of thought she maybe had gotten drunk and had a hangover and maybe gotten sick in the hallway. But I mean, I do feel like they're going to readdress that.
They better.
I hope so. That's
You going with them?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to town.
Yeah, everybody but Melania Housekeeper.
That's just my worry with this book is like, for me right now, there's definitely some redemption that could happen, but like they've got to start to open the onion up and show me some more.
Yeah, but watch out. What happens when you cut onions? Makes you cry.
That's why I don't like onions.
Is that? Did I make that up?
Yeah,
Maybe.
you just phrased that
I think
too.
Shrek said that first.
Damn it.
So Kent asked, is Clara's concern over Josie and the other neighbors' problems artificial or programmed? Or do you feel that she's rising above her programming and determining in her own way to care for Josie and others?
That's a good question.
Is it possible to rise above your programming? There's a philosophical question for you.
I haven't yet.
Well, they even had that conversation close to the end, close to the stopping point of like, oh, it was Rick. Like, do you feel emotions? Like, can you feel that? It was like about sadness or something.
Yeah,
It was with the mom. The mom asked on the way to the thing. She said it must be nice to not have feelings, and she was like, "I felt sad that Josie couldn't come with us." But yeah, I don't know, and I do feel like this has happened with quite a few books with us. I mean, that's kind of the catch, I think, of us having a midpoint discussion is everyone's always a little bit frustrated at this point because you have so many more questions than you do answers. That's just the natural structure of a book. You can't have all the answers right away or else you're not invested. But yeah, I will say I have no friggin' clue what any of the answers are though. No.
Well, and as far as her having emotions, like we've been told from the very beginning that she is different than other AFs. Oh, maybe Kelly.
She's a murder bot.
Maybe.
Yeah,
that could make it really interesting.
Definitely not what I expected the book to go.
Yes, it's a murder bot story.
Didn't the manager said like in the beginning? So like each AF has like their own like a unique quality that makes them special, and Clara's specifically is her observation. Interested to know what Rose's was, but like so everyone has. Each AF has some quality that is individual to them, and I forgot where I was going with that, but that's a thing.
Yeah, I agree, Natalie. That's honestly why I was looking forward to the discussion because it always opens me up a little bit and makes me more receptive and
like an onion.
Gives me different. Yep, like an onion.
Like a Shrek. Like an ogre.
Yeah, it just gives different perspective. It's good to see everyone's feedback.
Yeah.
These always help me. Yeah.
Except
with the hike. I didn't care.
I love that book.
Yeah.
I like that book a lot.
So we kind of touched on it a little bit, but Tiffany asked, I'd like to discuss Sal. What really happened to Josie's sister?
Yeah, that's a mystery we're going to find out the answer to, I think.
Your guess is as good as mine.
She got sacrificed to the tree monster.
Oh,
maybe.
Man, we're just mixing all the books. So I don't know. Like this is one of those things where like it's going to be one thing to find out what happened, but it's going to be another thing to find out how Klara processes it. Like this is, I feel like, kind of a coming of age story for a robot. Like this is a artificial friend who's got this program. It's like, we're going to find out what happens to Sal, but we're going to find out like how that affects Klara. Like Clara's on this mission. She's on a mission from God.
From the sun.
From the sun.
From Gad.
And she's not telling anybody about it because she didn't want to anger the sun. She was worried that she angered the sun just by going to the barn and talking to the sun. And the sun has other better things to do.
It was presumptuous.
It was very presumptuous. Yeah, like I don't know. Clara's she's got some stuff ahead of her, I think. As do we all for for the rest of the book, and that's why I'm so interested in keeping reading. And like, yeah, I do think that there are times where I read it and dozed off and had to read the same page 7 times.
Damn.
That's a
Stop.
very interesting theory.
Oh man! See, I was waiting for I was waiting for Klara to be the actual only human in this book.
No, you were not.
I don't know. That's the kind of twist I'm looking forward to here.
Someone take away Dan's spoon.
No,
He's stirring the pot. He just wants to stir the pot.
That's a good
great.
one.
That's a great theory.
Yeah. But did you get an AF for an AF? Whoa.
What are you looking at? I don't feel like the mother and the housekeeper would be as emotionally invested as they are if that were the case.
Something went wrong when Sal was being lifted, but then the mother went ahead and lifted Josie anyway, and it went wrong again.
That's why she's sick, maybe.
Yeah, and the sickness seems to like ebb and flow. Like Josie has her moments of wellness, and then she's like crashed. But I don't know why this made me sort of mentally stream of consciousness segue into like her and Rick's relationship with the bubble game, which is kind of, we should play that game. That'd be a fun game to play.
But they're just like drawing stick people and then like putting bubbles.
She's like really drawing stuff. She's a good artist.
Yeah, so she's drawing people in situations and then passing it down to Rick, who has to like caption it, basically.
Yeah.
It's just a caption contest with just one person playing. But it seems like what she's drawing is more like real life events or something.
Dude, Jeffs, what is... I don't
know what you're...
Did anyone mention what was going on with the covers right before the halfway? The covers.
Are you talking about when the mom went in? Because Claire didn't see everything. She was talking about how she saw the silhouette of like... Are you just talking about when Josie had a breakdown and she was like hiding under the covers?
Yeah, elaborate a little more.
Yes, we await your comment to follow up, Mr. Jeff. I've never heard of.
You need to go read The Hike.
Yeah, do it. I liked it.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's so weird.
I liked. Go ahead.
Mixed opinions. Yeah, that's the writer.
Yep.
I will say this about The Hike. The reason it makes me so mad is because I kind of did like parts of it.
Yeah, you did.
I did like parts of it until I got to the end, and then I was like, no, whole thing in the trash.
Do we have a follow? The first part of the covers was confusing to me. What was the covers? Was written really weird. I had trouble picturing it. What is this scene?
I
think a lot of that is just because we're getting it from Clara's point of view. Bless you.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to my world.
That was
that was a quiet one.
That was a quiet one.
No.
That's my superpower.
That was a quiet one.
Okay, here do Julie's.
There was Josie huddled in her blanket crying, humming to herself. Yes.
Yeah, because she was seeing silhouettes and shapes because it was dark at night, and then seeing the mom come in and pushing her out of the way, and them talking about seeing the silhouette of them like their shapes together while she was
like
holding and rocking her
yeah.
and stuff. I kind of just assumed it was that she couldn't discern; she could only see the outlines of what was happening.
So Josie was just like having a freak out, and mom came in to soothe her, and then
Fair.
the end.
Yeah.
Like
It was like, I don't want to be sick or something like that, or
she
I don't want to
wanna
die.
Like,
yeah.
which I feel like is like, I know like I'm making a lot of excuses here, but I feel like she deserves some. Yeah, Josie's like, we're seeing some weird attitude changes from her, and like she doesn't seem like a purely sympathetic character all the time, but she's 14. She's been sick her whole life. She thinks she's dying. And also, she's 14. I don't know how often y'all are around teenagers, but it's stressful as can be. And they're Their moods can change so quickly on a dime. It's real stressful, y'all.
So here's the thing about lifted causing. I guess it must not be, if that's true, it must not be all that common, or else you would think the odds of somebody else showing up to this interaction party also having the same sickness. And I don't know if we that wasn't the case, was it? But the odds of like Chrissy having two of the same people die, or you know,
But
that's bad
didn't
luck.
they say Josie's sickness was different from Sal's?
Maybe.
I feel like she said that at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just their illnesses are different.
Yeah. So when Clara,
too.
yeah, when Clara first saw Josie, she estimated she was about 14 and a half. How long has gone by since, I guess, Josie took Clara home from like when we stopped? Because
I think it's been a little bit.
how long do you think it's been?
I don't know, like at least a year.
Oh, I think less. I think
Couple-
way less than a
couple
year.
months. Maybe.
I was thinking a couple of months too. What do you guys think?
Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's
Well, that's
been a
what
couple months.
well, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no real timeline, so we're all wrong and right.
It just seems like sometimes she like glosses over. She just like in a sentence says like, yeah, and then we did this. But what should have been like several weeks at least. Like,
Oh, but okay, here's why I don't think it's been that long. And Julie makes a good point. But okay, she's been ill, but the portrait dude, it can't have been that long. So every time she came to see her in the city, it was because she was getting portrait work done. And she has not gone to see the portrait dude since they have taken Clara home. So I think it has been only a few months.
okay.
Okay, Julie says, or maybe just a few weeks.
Maybe just a few days. Maybe just a few hours.
No.
Maybe just a few minutes.
It's been night times.
Have we considered that this might be a prequel story to
No.
Josie and the Pussycats? I just want to put it
Yes.
out there.
Interesting.
Yes, that's exactly where this is going. Josie's like, one day when I get better, I'm gonna start a band.
I'm just throwing it out there.
And
I like
now
cats.
this is book discussion time with just hi.
My mic fell off.
You sneezed it off.
Sneeze my ears off. So yeah, the time. I mean, Clara has a weird sense of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mariah.
what? Oh. We're all AFs.
Y'all.
We're AF.
We're all literally wasted AF. Sorry.
But yeah, there's just it's intriguing enough to where like you're like, what's really happening? I would call this book a mystery. This is a mystery.
Kind of.
Can I use that term to describe everything I don't understand?
Oh, you know what it kind
I
of
would
feels
love that
like?
idea.
You kind of can.
You can,
It's
yeah.
a mystery to you.
What was that book with the rabbit, the rarebit?
We have
What
always lived in the
Lived in the
castle.
It kind of feels like that in a way because of Clara. Kind of
It's
feels
fun,
like the
spoopy.
sister that's kind of off, because she's kind of simple and
Well, it is a good comparison
Shirley
because like
Jackson.
Mary Cat, the narrator of We Have Always Lived in the Castle, was also a very like unreliable
Mhm.
narrator as far as like
Mhm.
what this world was. Like we saw the world through this person's eyes that clearly was like
touched.
very influenced or like not fully it's an unreliable narrator basically, but like it's the same thing. Is it like, who do we trust? We can't trust anybody really. We definitely can't trust the narrator of this book to be telling us
We don't trust no robots.
Yeah,
Well, and it's just like it's a very limited, small cast and a very secluded, like small
Thank you,
setting
Natalie.
too.
No, robots can't be zombies.
Robot.
zombie robots.
They're not organic.
But yeah, there's definitely trust issues here. You can't take Clara at face value. You can't even take really Chrissy at face value or Josie or anything. You know, like everybody's Martin trusted the murder bot, but yeah, there you go. That's
Exactly. To that end, Natalie, if we find out Sal actually isn't dead, then technically this is a zombie book.
Okay.
yeah. Well, you know, Beggar Man and the dog came back from the dead, thanks to
So
the
this is-
sun.
Once again, Christy has tricked me into reading another zombie book.
Yay! They're all zombie books.
So many more zombie books than I
and they have
ever
these-
agreed to.
So Henry mentioned the B3s, which are like the newer models, and how and you know the manager's like, oh no, but Klara is far superior to the B3s. Henry thinks they're organic, like the Borg.
They're organic. Is that are you like? Is that what you suspect, or is that in the book?
Well, don't spoil it.
Because I don't remember. Is that in the first half of the book?
No.
No, that's what he's.
He's
Uh-oh.
just suspecting. He's
I think.
speculating.
Thank you. I was like, what is that S word I'm trying to think of? Okay. Okay. So he made it up.
Yeah,
So
he totally made it up. But
no.
that would be something if they had if they were the Borg. This is just a prequel to the Borg. Star Trek.
Yes. Do we
Okay.
need to?
What?
Sorry,
Yes.
go ahead, Talia.
no, we do need to. But
We
I
do
want
need
to.
to.
But before we do
do
what we need to, I want to
Thing.
know. I want to know across the board. Did this talk help any of y'all who were like on whether or not you were going to continue reading this book? Just like a little.
I have to continue reading it.
You do.
Yes. It helped me.
But did it help? It doesn't matter. You have to read it
No,
anyway.
no. I very much appreciate seeing everyone's point of view, whether you struggled bust through it or you really loved it. It's just nice to see that. It's we never have. Every book's different, right? And I am intrigued though. Like I really want to see this world more, and again, I'll say it one last time. I hope it pays off. Like it could pay off amazing, and I could go back and say, "Oh my god, the first half of the book is such a slow burn, but it's going to blow your mind at the end," and that's what I hope.
Yeah, it was like got several people who were like,
I just want to acknowledge Natalie's commitment. She's like, I do not DNF lit wasted books. Yeah. She goes, sometimes it'll start, but I never DNF.
yeah.
It said do not finish.
Did not finish. Yeah.
I think it helped me get into the book more. Like talking through like kind of the setup for what we have left to read. I think it's definitely more exciting now. Mariah is obsessing. What about Bill?
What about Bill?
Tell us about Bill. See,
Tim, I agree.
but I'm glad
whether-
you're.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm glad you're. I think it's awesome that you're bothering your coworkers and customers and family with it. That's great.
Are you cold calling customers and being like, "Hi, this is Mariah. Have you heard about Klara and the Sun?"
Martin, I agree. These
Helpful
discussions
AF.
are helpful.
They're a helpful artificial friend.
Yeah.
All right, so Cindy leads us into a good
Segue.
thing. So in 3 minutes from now,
Yes.
the poll will be live,
And
and we have your choices. And we're gonna, you know what? We're just gonna play the thing for you right now.
oh my god,
about
a
this?
sneak peek.
We can all see this in real
Wait a minute.
time.
Did you say the video is going live in 3 minutes?
No,
No, the poll.
The whole poll
poll.
is. Okay, I was like, you haven't sent me the video yet.
The poll is going to be live in 3 minutes, but here are your choices. Here we go.
It's time to choose October's book, and we have 3 spooky options for you to choose from. Option number 1 is The Supernatural Enhancements by Edgar Cantero.
This looks like a fun book. I've actually read a book by this author before, and it was really, really fun. So I'm excited about this one. Basically, this person inherits a haunted house, but they don't believe in ghosts, so they decide they're going to fix it up so that they can sell it. And then, hey, guess what? It's haunted. So it gets spooky and creepy.
Option number 2 is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin.
One of you actually recommended this book, and y'all said it has eldritches, magic, subways, egg sandwiches, and the most thorough representation of all kinds of people. And that's why we should read it for October. So, who am I to argue? Sounds like a plan.
Option number 3 is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes.
So this one sounds fun. There is a luxury cruiser that goes for its maiden voyage in space, and then it just is never heard from again. So that was 20 years ago. And now there is a salvage crew that kind of stumbles upon it, and they're going to go do their job and salvage it because you make lots of money that way. And they, I think, kind of start discovering why it went missing, and it starts getting a little bit scary or creepy or something, and it sounds really fun.
We have very different definitions of fun. But I will be a good sport, and I'm going to read whatever spooky book gets chosen for October. But thankfully, we do not have to choose. You do. You have to go to the Literally Wasted Lounge. It is our Facebook group, and tell us what book you want to read in October. What book do you want to give us nightmares? Yay! It's up to you. Is there something else that I usually say? I don't remember. That's it, right? You just gotta vote?
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Make that in there. Great. Great. Good.
So those are your
Cool.
choices.
Okay.
And the book poll will be live at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So in just a few short seconds, probably, you can go to Literally Wasted Lounge and vote. Don't leave this.
Yeah, don't leave.
Video
We're
yet.
not done. We have like 2 minutes. But also once again, the video for rewatching purposes, is that going to go up tomorrow?
It'll go up sometime.
Tomorrow.
So yeah.
Tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow.
All three feel a little red flaggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's October. It's a little spooky. This might not be your month if you don't like that, but
Unless
I
you're
think
me,
it
you
depends
don't
on
have
the
a
book.
choice.
I mean, there's some that are more scary than others.
yeah, that last one,
Yeah.
I think the tagline was like unspeakable horrors.
Is it just
Sounds so
is it
good.
just Event Horizon?
That's what I thought. I was like,
It's
that's
just-
totally Event Horizon.
Oh, someone else commented
Save
that.
yourselves from hell.
It's fine.
That movie was so scary, by the way.
Yo, we didn't even last October. We didn't even read a scary book, but it stuck with me so hard that it feels like that was only a few months ago.
That was
And
The
I
Ghost
Ghost
Tree.
Yeah, and the Ghost Tree, which is not a scary book, made me jumpy for days. Like my poor kid would just walk like down the hall, and I'd be like, "Ah,
She's always like that.
stop scaring me!" Then
So yeah, those are the books. Those are your spooky choices for October. The book poll is live now in the Literally Wasted Lounge. I'm gonna post for those of you who are like, yeah, this should do this video. We do a video like this every time. It just goes up on Literally Wasted Facebook page and then the YouTube channel. But this was fun showing it during the live stream.
Yeah.
I kinda liked it. It was kind of fun. But yeah, I get to see your reactions to the video in real time. We get to watch you watch it.
And we got to watch this, Lucas and Talia watch it because they haven't seen it before.
I haven't seen it.
yeah,
So
know what all you left in there.
yeah, you say it. It might go in the video. So watch yourself.
I can't. Sometimes things just come out of my face.
So yeah, book poll. It's happening, and spooky October, and then we'll see you at the end of this month for the second half of Klara and the Sun on September.
Y'all, on Tuesday. On
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh,
The next
right.
discussion, do not forget. The next discussion is Tuesday. It is
Tuesday.
1 week and 6 days, not 2 weeks, 1 week and 6 days from today, the 27th.
Yes, it's on a Tuesday.
It
Callie
is on
and I
a
have
Tuesday.
we have a work trip planned for the next day, so we have to do it today early.
We will post lots of reminders, so like keep like on the lookout. It'll be on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and like whatever else. But yeah, the 27th. Don't be late.
Yes, and Christy and I will be coming at you from a new house.
What?
Yeah. we're moving. So this beautiful background, take it all in.
I've seen worse.
It'll look like
It's
a bunch
nice
of
and
boxes
clean.
next time.
It's a nice cleaning wall.
A new haunted house. So cool. Well, all right. We'll see you on Tuesday, September 27th.
7th.
And then vote in the book poll. Literally
Yes.
Wasted Lounge. Go there. Lucas, let's harmonize.
Oh my god!
That's the same note.
No.